Bahamas, the nation of 700 islands and the secrets hidden in the heart of the ocean. If there is one place on Earth where simply looking out of an airplane window feels like gazing at a masterpiece painted with hundreds of shades of blue, it is the Bahamas. From thousands of meters above, this archipelago appears like a scattering of emerald jewels across the vast Atlantic Ocean. Curving ribbons of white sand embrace crystal-clear waters, creating landscapes so breathtaking that many first-time visitors assume they must be digitally enhanced or the product of clever visual effects. But this beauty is entirely real. When most people think of the Bahamas, they picture luxurious resorts, tropical beaches, and glamorous yachts. Yet, the Bahamas is not just a single island, and it is far more than a vacation destination. It is a sovereign nation made up of around 700 islands and more than 2,400 cays, sandbars, and coral reefs, spread across hundreds of thousands of square kilometers of the Atlantic Ocean. Surprisingly, only about 30 of these islands are permanently inhabited. The rest remain largely untouched, where the sea, the wind, and the passage of time continue shaping the landscape just as they have for millions of years. There are islands where you won't find a single house. There are waters so clear that you can see the sandy seabed from a boat, even at depths of several dozen meters. There are enormous blue holes that plunge into mysterious underground worlds, still holding secrets that scientists continue to explore. And there are places where the most famous residents are not people at all, but a colony of swimming pigs. Few people realize that long before becoming one of the world's most celebrated tropical destinations, the Bahamas was home to the indigenous Lucayan people, served as one of the first landing sites of Christopher Columbus, and later became the stronghold of some of the Caribbean's most infamous pirates. Names like Blackbeard and Charles Vane once turned these waters into a nightmare for Spanish treasure fleets crossing the Atlantic. Today, the thunder of cannons has been replaced by the gentle rhythm of ocean waves. The pirate ships have given way to gleaming white yachts. Yet, if you listen closely enough, the Bahamas still tells its stories through ancient forts, historic harbors, vibrant coral reefs, and remote islands that seem almost forgotten by time. In today's journey, we won't simply explore another beautiful travel destination. Together, we'll venture across more than 700 islands to discover why the Bahamas is home to some of the clearest waters on Earth. Why it was once known as the Pirate Republic. How extraordinary natural wonders like Dean's Blue Hole, Glass Window Bridge, and Pig Beach, where a colony of swimming pigs has become the symbol of an entire nation, came to exist. We'll also meet the people whose lives remain deeply connected to the sea, explore traditions that have been preserved for generations, and uncover the challenges this island nation faces today, from rising sea levels and increasingly powerful hurricanes to the growing impacts of climate change. Because the Bahamas is more than a place to admire, it is a nation shaped by the ocean. A land where history, nature, and human resilience come together to tell stories far richer than any postcard could ever capture. And perhaps by the end of this journey, what you'll remember most about the Bahamas won't simply be the mesmerizing shades of blue that surround it. It will be the remarkable secrets hidden beneath its beauty. Secrets that reveal this island paradise to be far more extraordinary than the world has ever imagined. Pig Beach, the island where the most famous residents aren't human. What if someone told you that hidden within the crystal-clear waters of the Caribbean lies an island where the first residents to rush out and welcome every visitor are not people, nor flocks of seabirds or playful dolphins, but a colony of pigs swimming through the open sea? You would probably smile and assume it was nothing more than a clever story created to attract tourists, or perhaps just another carefully staged video on the internet. But the extraordinary truth is, every bit of it is real. Hidden among the more than 300 islands and cays of the Exuma archipelago in the Bahamas is a small stretch of sand known as Pig Beach. Located on Big Major Key, an uninhabited island with no roads, no hotels, and not a single village. For years, this seemingly forgotten island has become one of the most famous destinations in the Bahamas, all because of its remarkable residents. The surprising part isn't seeing pigs on an island. The truly astonishing part is the way they appear. As a boat slowly glides into the shallow turquoise water, the sea remains perfectly calm, reflecting the Caribbean sky like a giant mirror. Then, suddenly, the silence is broken by the sound of the boat's engine. Within seconds, the bushes along the shoreline begin to rustle. One pig emerges, then another, and before long, an entire herd charges from the beach straight into the ocean without the slightest hesitation. They slice through the water with astonishing confidence. Their snouts rise above the surface to catch each breath. Their ears twitch gently with every passing wave, while their four legs paddle tirelessly, carrying them directly toward the approaching boat. The sight is so surreal that many first-time visitors forget to lift their cameras, because what unfolds before them is far more than a group of swimming pigs. It is a scene that seems to challenge everything we think we know about the natural world. In the crystal-clear turquoise sea, the pigs swim calmly, effortlessly, and with complete confidence, as though the ocean itself were their true home. There is no fear, no hesitation, only the gentle sound of the waves, sunlight shimmering across the water, and a herd of pigs making their way towards strangers as if welcoming old friends back home. It is a moment that leaves almost everyone asking the same question. How did an animal that has always been associated with farms on land become the symbol of an island in the middle of the ocean? And the answer to that mystery is far more fascinating than most people could ever imagine. Bahamas, from the land of the Lucayans to the world's most infamous pirate republic. Today, the Bahamas is known as one of the world's most breathtaking tropical destinations. But thousands of years ago, it was the homeland of the Lucayans, a peaceful branch of the Taino civilization that once flourished throughout the Caribbean. Archaeologists believe the Lucayans first arrived in the Bahamas around the 8th or 9th century, crossing the sea from what are now Hispaniola and Cuba. They built simple thatched homes along the coast, fished with handmade nets and spears, cultivated cassava and sweet potatoes, and traveled between islands in dugout canoes carved from massive tree trunks. To them, The sea was never a barrier. It was a highway that connected their communities and sustained their way of life. For centuries, the Bahamas remained a peaceful land. Then, in October 1492, everything changed when Christopher Columbus landed on an island that many historians believe was present-day San Salvador. For Europe, it marked the gateway to the New World. For the Lucayans, it marked the beginning of a tragedy. Within just a few decades, most of the Lucayan people had been taken to Hispaniola as forced laborers or had perished from disease and the upheaval brought by European colonization. By the early 16th century, a culture that had thrived for centuries had all but disappeared from the Bahamas. For nearly 100 years afterward, the islands remained sparsely populated. Yet their strategic location along the busiest shipping routes of the Atlantic soon gave the Bahamas an entirely new role in history. During the 17th century, Spanish treasure fleets carrying gold, silver, precious gems, and valuable cargo from the Americas to Europe regularly sailed through these waters. To merchants, it was one of the richest trade routes on Earth. To pirates, it was a floating treasure chest. With hundreds of small islands, sheltered coves, and shallow sandbanks that made pursuit by large warships difficult, the Bahamas became the perfect hiding place. Before long, pirate crews began gathering in Nassau. By the early 18th century, Nassau had become the headquarters of some of history's most notorious pirates, including Blackbeard, Charles Vane, Calico Jack Rackham, Anne Bonny, and Mary Read. Whenever a captured prize ship entered the harbor, the town came alive. Treasure was divided on the docks, taverns stayed crowded until dawn, and fortunes changed hands overnight. What many people don't realize is that pirate crews were often more organized than popular legends suggest. They followed agreed-upon codes, divided their loot according to established rules, elected or removed captains by vote, and made many important decisions democratically. For this reason, many historians refer to Nassau during this period as the Pirate Republic, a place that existed almost entirely beyond the control of any empire. But the golden age of piracy would not last forever. In 1718, the British Crown appointed Woodes Rogers as the first royal governor of the Bahamas. He arrived with warships, soldiers, and a royal pardon for any pirate willing to surrender. Some accepted. Others chose to fight. After years of relentless campaigns, the golden age of Caribbean piracy finally came to an end. Nassau gradually transformed from a pirate stronghold into the administrative center of the British colony, laying the foundation for the modern Bahamas. Yet although the black sails have long disappeared from the horizon, that extraordinary past has never truly left these islands. Today, as you walk through Nassau's historic streets, explore its coral stone forts, or watch the sun set over the harbor, it is easy to feel that history still lingers in the sea breeze and the scent of salt water. Perhaps that is why the Bahamas is more than just a paradise of turquoise waters and white sand beaches. It is a land where every island hides a story, and every wave seems to carry the echoes of an era when the entire Caribbean trembled beneath the flags of the world's most infamous pirates.
Nassau, the heart of the Bahamas, where the past meets the present. If history once transformed Nassau into the stronghold of the Atlantic's most infamous pirates, today it has become the heart of the Bahamas, the nation's political, economic, and cultural center, where nearly every aspect of life across the archipelago begins. Each morning, as the first rays of sunlight shimmer across the turquoise waters of Nassau Harbor, enormous cruise ships from around the world begin arriving one after another. Within just a few hours, thousands of passengers pour into the city's narrow streets. On busy days, the number of visitors arriving in Nassau can equal nearly a quarter of the country's entire population. For a nation of only about 400,000 people, it is a remarkable reminder of just how important tourism is to the Bahamian economy. Yet Nassau is far more than a stop for cruise ships. Although the Bahamas consists of around 700 islands and more than 2,400 cays and reefs, the vast majority of the country's government, business, and public services are concentrated on New Providence, an island covering less than 210 square kilometers. It is home to the national government, parliament, major banks, hospitals, universities, and the country's busiest international airport. More than 2/3 of all Bahamians live here, making Nassau the true center of the nation. If the Bahamas were compared to a living body stretching across the Atlantic Ocean, Nassau would undoubtedly be its heart, constantly pumping life to islands scattered across hundreds of kilometers of sea. What makes Nassau truly fascinating, however, is not its modern skyline or luxurious resorts. It is the rare harmony between history and modern life. Walk just a few minutes beyond the harbor and the scenery changes completely. Elegant colonial wooden houses painted in soft pink, pale yellow, sky blue, and ivory line the streets. Their wide verandas, wooden balconies, and traditional shutters have been carefully preserved for generations, giving the city a timeless charm that glows beneath the tropical sun. As you wander through these streets, you'll find family-owned shops that have welcomed customers for decades, where owners greet every visitor with the warmth of an old friend. Around one corner, the sound of Caribbean guitars blends with the energetic rhythms of junkanoo drums. Around another, the aroma of freshly grilled seafood, warm bread, and salty ocean air creates an atmosphere that is unmistakably Nassau. The prosperity of Nassau is not built on natural beauty alone. For decades, the Bahamas has relied on two powerful economic pillars: tourism and international financial services. Every year, millions of visitors arrive by sea and by air, generating a large share of the nation's income. Tens of thousands of Bahamians work in hotels, luxury resorts, restaurants, tour companies, ports, and maritime industries. At the same time, thanks to its stable financial environment and favorable tax policies, the Bahamas has become home to numerous international companies, investment funds, and financial institutions. Yet beyond the luxury resorts and world-class marinas lies another side of the Bahamas. Travel just a few kilometers away from the tourist districts and you'll discover peaceful neighborhoods filled with brightly painted homes, children playing soccer in the streets, fishermen patiently repairing their nets beneath swaying coconut palms, and roadside fruit vendors who begin their day long before sunrise. This is the everyday Bahamas, the life experienced by most Bahamians, simple, welcoming, and deeply connected to the sea. In Nassau, the ocean is far more than a beautiful view. It is the rhythm of life itself. Long before dawn, many fishermen are already heading out to sea. By mid-morning, fresh snapper, grouper, Caribbean spiny lobster, and queen conch fill the local markets. Despite being the capital of an entire nation, Nassau rarely feels rushed. People still make time to talk with their neighbors, greet strangers with a smile, pause to admire the sunset, and appreciate the sea, the faithful companion that has sustained generations of Bahamians for centuries. Perhaps that is why Nassau is much more than the capital of the Bahamas. It is the soul of the nation, a city where pirate legends, colonial heritage, Caribbean traditions, and modern life exist side by side, blending together to create a unique identity found almost nowhere else on Earth. If the ocean shaped the Bahamas, it was its people who gave each island its soul. And nowhere is that more evident than in the traditional cuisine and vibrant festivals that have been preserved for centuries. In the Bahamas, the sea is far more than a beautiful view. It is a source of life, a keeper of memories, and a vast natural kitchen that has nourished an entire nation for generations. Before dawn breaks, fishing boats quietly leave the harbors. By the time the sun rises high into the sky, bustling seaside markets are filled with freshly caught seafood from the surrounding waters. Red snapper, grouper, mahi-mahi, tuna, Caribbean spiny lobster, and above all, the queen conch, the shellfish that has become the culinary symbol of the Bahamas. For Bahamians, the queen conch is much more than food. It is part of their national identity. Its shell appears in traditional handicrafts, local music, and was once used as a horn to signal fishermen working offshore. The meat is prepared in many different ways, but none is more famous than conch salad. A refreshing dish prepared fresh before your eyes. Skilled chefs slice raw conch into thin pieces before mixing it with tomatoes, red onions, sweet peppers, fresh lime juice, and native sour oranges. With only a handful of ingredients, the natural sweetness of the seafood blends beautifully with bright citrus flavors and a gentle hint of spice, creating one of the Caribbean's most refreshing dishes. Other beloved specialties include cracked conch, coated in a crispy golden crust and deep-fried to perfection. Conch chowder, a rich and flavorful soup simmered with vegetables and local spices. And rock lobster, Caribbean spiny lobster grilled over charcoal and finished with aromatic garlic butter. These dishes are staples at nearly every seaside restaurant across the islands. Bahamian cuisine is also a story of cultural fusion. Over the centuries, the indigenous Lucayan people, Africans, the British, and immigrant communities from around the world have all contributed to shaping the country's culinary traditions. Dishes such as peas and rice, Johnny cake, stewed fish, fried plantains, and Caribbean curries are not only everyday favorites, they also reflect the historical journey of an entire nation. Bahamians do not believe in overly complicated cooking. They believe that the freshest ingredients are the finest seasoning. Perhaps that is why many visitors say that a simple meal beside the sea often creates more lasting memories than an elegant dinner inside a luxury resort. But if the cuisine helps you understand everyday life, then Junkanoo allows you to experience the very heartbeat of the Bahamas. It is the country's largest cultural celebration and a source of immense national pride throughout the archipelago. Every year on Boxing Day, December 26th, and New Year's Day, January 1st, the streets of Nassau come alive and remain awake until sunrise. Months before the celebrations begin, thousands of artisans carefully cut colored paper, string beads, attach feathers, and handcraft enormous costumes entirely by hand. Some costumes weigh dozens of kilograms and require nearly a full year to complete, all for just a few unforgettable hours of performance. As night falls, the sounds of goatskin drums, brass instruments, cowbells, and infectious rhythms echo through the city. Brilliantly colored parade groups fill the streets one after another. Thousands of dancers spin and move through the avenues wearing spectacular costumes that resemble tropical birds in flight. The audience does not simply watch, they sing, they dance. They become part of the celebration, joining the festivities until the first light of dawn appears. Many historians believe that Junkanoo traces its origins back to the era of slavery, when enslaved Africans were granted a few days of freedom during the Christmas season and used music and dance to preserve the traditions of their ancestral homelands. Over time, the festival not only survived, but grew into a powerful symbol of resilience, cultural pride, and unity for the Bahamian people. Perhaps that is why, when travelers leave the Bahamas, what remains in their memories is not only the breathtaking turquoise waters or the endless white sand beaches. It is also the refreshing taste of freshly prepared conch salad enjoyed beside the sea, the irresistible aroma of grilled lobster drifting through the ocean breeze, the rhythmic beat of Junkanoo drums echoing beneath a sky filled with stars. And above all, the feeling that in the Bahamas, every meal tells a story. Every festival preserves a piece of history, and every smile reminds visitors that the true beauty of this island nation lies not only in its crystal clear waters, but also in the rich culture that the ocean has nurtured for countless generations.
As our journey across hundreds of islands scattered throughout the Atlantic Ocean comes to an end, perhaps we will never see the Bahamas the same way again. It is far more than crystal clear turquoise waters, far more than endless stretches of white sand beaches, and far more than the luxury resorts that fill travel postcards and brochures. Behind its breathtaking beauty lies a land shaped by thousands of years of history, the homeland of the Lucayan people, the place where Christopher Columbus first set foot in the New World, the stronghold of pirates who once shook the entire Caribbean. And today, the home of a nation that continues to preserve its rich traditions, living in harmony with the sea and embracing the ocean as an inseparable part of everyday life. From mysterious blue holes whose depths remain largely unexplored, to the glass window bridge where the Atlantic Ocean and the Caribbean Sea meet to create one of the world's most breathtaking natural spectacles. From Pig Beach, where a swimming colony of pigs has become one of the country's most iconic symbols, to the historic streets of Nassau, where echoes of the golden age of piracy still linger. Every island in the Bahamas tells a different story. Some tell stories of nature, some preserve centuries of history, some remind us of how small we are before the immense power of the ocean. And others simply remind us that our planet is still filled with extraordinary wonders waiting to be discovered.
Perhaps that is the true magic of the Bahamas. It is not simply because it is home to some of the world's most beautiful beaches. It is because behind every shoreline, every coral reef, and every island lies a story compelling enough to make visitors dream of returning once again. If one day you have the opportunity to visit the Bahamas, don't spend all of your time inside the resorts. Step outside. Talk with the local people. Enjoy a freshly prepared plate of conch salad by the sea. Listen to the rhythmic beat of junkanoo drums beneath the night sky. And let the ocean tell you stories that no book could ever fully capture. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the Bahamas. If you enjoy discovering lesser-known destinations, unique cultures, and the fascinating stories hidden behind every country, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you won't miss our future adventures. Because our world is still full of incredible wonders, and our journey has only just begun.